What's up, guys? This is Sam here, and I've got another video here for you where I'm going to touch on some things regarding Andrew Yang. And I think I don't know what's happening, but the data is clearly indicating one direction, and I'm going to go through each one of these data points with you, and then ask you for your thoughts, like what exactly happened. And if you use the hashtag stole at the end of the videos, I can actually see your comment and use that in the future videos at the end of them. So with that being said, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam. And for those of you who are returning, it's good to freaking see you. Now, I've got about 6 or 7 different pieces of data to touch on here. This is over the last 7 days in terms of web search. So it's a relatively short period of time, but we're going to tie it into these other pieces because I was checking it out on one of them, and I was like, wait, it looks like Andrew Yang, like clearly there's been a pivotal moment where he was going up and to the right, and now he's going down and down to the right. Not the direction you want to see. And this is just the first piece of data, right? So this is Andrew Yang in the past 7 days for web search. Come over here to YouTube, same thing. Right, started up here. You can clearly see that there's just a. Hopefully my head's out of the way. You can just clearly see that there's a trend. If you took like a regression across there, you see a clear trend. You definitely have a trend on there. This is actually where I noticed the pivotal thing here, because I had seen Andrew Yang's. I was curious about his website, so I pulled up the thing to look at his fucking website to see what was going on with his website, because I know he'd been losing ground. And we see there's a clear, right at the end of October. What happened at the end of October? I don't follow politics in terms of what the candidates talk about. I look at the data to try to understand what America thinks of what they say. I don't particularly care. I just want to understand what you guys think of what the candidates say on a collective basis, because then I know where we're going, right? And we see that he was up and to the right for the majority of the last, this is the ranking of his website, Yang 2020, using Alexa.com, which is they rank websites and they get other social, website statistics and engagement numbers that they use, Alexa.com does. And they have the worldly ranking right here where Andrew Yang was gaining ground up until probably, it looks like about 60 days ago. Or 30 days ago. He was gaining ground for the first 60 and then losing ground for the last 30. Not tremendous, right? But you can clearly see there's a pivotal point on October 31st. I'm not sure what happened. It's just that I think that honestly, the attention that, right, today's December 1st. Over this past month, there's been a tremendous amount of attention that's been placed on Tulsi Gabbard. And I honestly do think that some of those people, a lot of the people, what I'm seeing through the comments, through Twitter, through other social that I'm looking at, is that a lot of the people seem to be who support Tulsi or Andrew Yang. Not a lot, but there's definitely some crossover there. Like, I see the same hashtags coming from the people for both of these candidates pretty regularly, meaning they'll say something on Twitter and they'll use hashtag Andrew Yang and hashtag Tulsi Gabbard, or Yang 2020 and Gabbard 2020, or Tulsi 2020, something like that. And I see that pretty often where they cross over. And I think that all that attention that the media was putting on Tulsi Gabbard, just literally, this is conjecture, clearly, but I feel like that could have just been enough to take that momentum out of that he had been building. We do see, like, it looks like there's something going on, because it looks like over this last couple of days it started to come up again. But then again, was that another one like this here? Right? We have a couple days here where it's going up, right? Is that the same thing here? I don't know. We'll see if this is a bottoming out and then continuing up into the right. But that's not the only thing. The next thing that I have here is Social Blade, and this is Andrew Yang's YouTube page. So Social Blade tracks people's profiles across platforms and gives you the statistics on them, like the number of followers, or in this case, the number of views and subscribers. So I want to take a look at something here. This is Andrew Yang's YouTube page. Look at over just this past week, right? We just saw on Google Trends from the YouTube search volume and the Google search volume. That was the first thing that we looked at. That it's been down to the right. The actual number of people who are consuming his content is dropping. Look at right here. We have a bunch. The first half of the period with an average well over 100,000, and this last part of the period here, maybe an average of like 35,000. So a 2/3 reduction in terms of the people who are paying attention to Yang over this past week, which is, again, this is the trend we're seeing. Like, people are just not searching for him as much on YouTube. I don't know. And then the same thing on Google. I think it's less pronounced though. Yeah, it's less pronounced. You can see, but there's a clear trend, and almost this part right here almost looks like it's flattening out. But something's going on. Over the last 6 days, the views have dropped by like 2/3, right? They like from over 100 most of these days, except for this one. But if you took the average of all these, it'd be over 100. And to come down, if you took the average of all these, it would maybe be 35 or something, or less. And to go from over 100 down to 35 is 67% reduction in views. So I don't know if he said something or what's going on, but let's jump over to his Facebook page. Look at this. So this is Andrew Yang, again, Social Blade, on his Facebook page. We pull up so we can see the statistics on his Facebook page. This is what I do for fun, guys. Like, normal people like watch television or football or, I don't know, movies, or have a TV or something. That's not what I do. So look at the number of people who are talking about him on Facebook. So Facebook takes talking about as like likes and comments and mentions, and 2 or 3 other things into that figure. And over the last, again, just like the YouTube views, on Facebook he's losing attention. So it's not on like a platform specific thing. Overall, he tends to be dropping. The last one I have up here is Twitter. Again, Social Blade, but now we have his Twitter handle up here. And we're just going to go over here and take a look. And Twitter as well. Over the last 3 days, the number of followers that he's been gaining on average over the last 3 days versus the other 10 days there, because I think it's a 13-day period. That's, again, about a 60% reduction or more than a 60% reduction. I mean, look at that, 275. Today is Sunday, so that will probably finish higher, but damn, that's a big drop off. We just did our YouTube rankings and released that on the channel if you want to go check that out. He was dominating on YouTube. I believe he was dominating on Twitter as well, and we did that ranking as well. So something is really happening. Let's just go do a quick recap here before we jump into the comment section. And if you want to leave a comment down below, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what is happening right here. Did I miss something? I don't actually follow what they say. Did he say something stupid? Did somebody I don't know. He's clearly losing attention on the fucking macro level. And this is there's a lot of data pointing in one direction. I don't know. I want to know your thoughts. I use the hashtag Stolt because I want to get into my YouTube analytics. I can search for hashtag Stolt out of all the comments, and I'm able to pull them up so I can talk about them at the end of the video, like we're about to do in a second. So we've got, again, the web search, the YouTube search, both just going down. Let's just, for fun, real quick, and then we'll get into the summary. Look at the 30 days. So for the 30 days, maybe there was this pop of attention right here. Maybe that's what caused the decline for both of these because this was a new set point, or this is a higher time, so we're just dropping down to back here. That could be it. That could be it. I don't know what happened over here, guys. This is the 21st of, oh, that was the debate, right? Okay, so he has been losing ground across the board since the debate. I'm glad it went to the 30-day. Damn. What's up? What did he say? Was he just? He's been losing ground. Again, his website. When was the debate? The 21st, right? So this was the 21st, and it almost looked like it flattened for a second, and then it dropped off. And we don't know if this is a turning point right here or not. We'll see. You guys can press that subscribe button and check back and check to see what's going on. I'm going to probably do the same thing on Kamala Harris. So we have the YouTube views just tanking. Fucking just getting obliterated. The people who are talking about him on Facebook are just that number is going down by. I mean, it's negative instead of it was increasing the first half of the period, and now it's decreasing. 16,000 less people talking about him. That's a lot of people, And I wonder what happened at the debate. The Twitter followers. Same thing. Twitter's much less so, but still a big drop-off. A clear, distinct drop-off over the last 3 days. I bet that the whole engine of what I'm talking about in these factors that we look at in our power rankings, that I'm also covering individually here on Andrew Yang, are really integrated with each other clearly, because people who use Twitter also use these other platforms. People who go to Google also use these other platforms. And I'm not sure what set it off. Something at the debate, it looks like, but he has just been... curious to hear what your thoughts are down below. And use the hashtag Stolt, just like Ravi. Let me do that one over again. This comment is, again, in my YouTube analytics, and I just searched for hashtag Stolt, Chitra, and then Ravi. Hey, appreciate it. Apologize I slaughtered your name. Thank you so much for the support and for the question here. This is in regards to the national YouTube rankings. Your data analysis is confirming that I have been inferring from different sources, not mainstream media, of course, regarding Tulsi. I got interested in U.S. politics because of Tulsi. I am in the UK. Oh, this is awesome. Awesome comment, and it just sparked something. What just happened with Tulsi? She was on the Joe Rogan Experience on the 4 days ago, I think it was. So 4 days ago would correspond with what's happening on Twitter. So the podcast came out, let's see, Joe Rogan podcast on YouTube. We can just go take a quick gander and see when it was. I believe it was on the 26th that that video came out, which would be about 4 days ago. So yeah, right here. 5 days ago. Okay, so 5 days ago. So that would put us at, I'm just looking up the calendar. So yeah, the 26th. That would be like the 26th. So we see that I think Joe does them in the afternoon, evening. So if it was done in the afternoon, evening, that would make sense, because as that message spread, he started losing ground on Twitter. Kind of interesting. It was released on the 26th, right between the 25th and 26th, right here. And coincidentally, I bet that's exactly what it is. Tulsi's, the supporters for Andrew Yang are going over to Tulsi. That's what it is. The podcast came out right, but then, and you see the immediate drop off on his Facebook page about people talking about him right when the Joe Rogan podcast comes out. Joe Rogan's podcast, he's ranked in the top 1,000 YouTube channels out of all the YouTube channels, in period. He's also in the U.S. ranked as, I think it's 390th or something like that. He has like 60 to 70 million views per month. There's a tremendous amount of attention there. And that came out coincidentally when this dropped off. Let's take a look at the last one here. Damn. Wow, I just answered my own question. Damn. So, he came out with that podcast. People are not fucking paying attention to Yang anymore. Now, let's change the question. Because of this, is this a lull? Is this a temporary, like, setback? Or is this a shift? I don't know. I'd like to hear your thoughts down below, because this is kind of interesting. Let's see, when was the 26th? I'm going to go back over to YouTube. I'm going to go back over to Google Trends just one more time. I apologize, guys. And please leave the detailed information. Okay, so the podcast came out on the 26th at some point. So between here and right about here. So during this lull, it came out. There was a spike of interest right after it came out around him. That's interesting. And it looks like he might have already been losing steam, but this just perpetuated the slowdown on the web. Let's jump over to YouTube. And it was almost, so now that you look at it, if you look at this as two separate things, right? Let's get the calculator over here. If you look at this two separate things, you look at this, right about there, and then you look at that. So the event happened, right? Here. What does that graph look like by itself? Independent of the other side that I'm covering up. It looks like it's pretty flat. Could go up, right? We see it heading higher. What does that look like? Down to the right. I don't know. I don't know, but I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. That's an awesome comment, Robbie. I really appreciate you asking that question, which allowed me to put this together. So thank you so much, and you guys should go like his or her comment, because that's what helped me bring that together. The next is, I'm not even going to slightly try to say, rhythm and acoustics. I was thinking of like a dinosaur when I first saw the name there. Obviously, like, Yang has number one. That's what Asian parents do to you. Let me read that again. Obviously, Yang has number one. That's what Asian parents do to you. I don't know. I'm not Asian. FYI, not racist. I'm Asian. No, I figured something like that. Humor doesn't translate well in text. Likes to dislikes ratio. Yang, Gabbard, Sanders. In that order. Damn, Yang has 0 searches in Maine, Kentucky, West Virginia, Nebraska, and Wyoming. Yang has to place ads in those areas. He has 0 searches when compared to Sanders in YouTube in 30 days. Awesome insight. And I actually think, I've talked about this in multiple other videos, I think that what we're doing here, I think people need to use this in the campaign. Like, the type of data that I'm looking at, just, why isn't anybody else looking at this stuff? You guys share this with the Yang campaign so that they can do something about this. They can contact me. I'll fucking help them out. I think that if you have more insight and data and intelligence, you can make better decisions. Right? Instead of making a decision one way, you can make it another way and increase your ROI of that, because you have better data than the other candidates and than you had before. And maybe it's possible that they are looking at this, but I just don't think so. Robert, what's good, Robert? Thank you so much for the comment. And again, let's thank Rhythm and Acoustics again, because that was also a really good comment. You guys, this is why I say use #Stole, because you guys fucking leave some really good comments here. And it makes me think about things sometimes in a different way, just like that first comment from Robbie, where we were able to put that all together, because that was live. Like, I didn't put that together at all until that moment. So I appreciate you guys staying with me. This is from Robert Stolt. Excellent analysis of what going with crooks at MSNBC. MSNBC is an absolute corrupt news organization. Simple as that. They are crooks and totally bought by rich corporations, period. They are very wrong, just wrong. I apologize for my reading, guys. It's not one of the super strong things when I'm not focused. I'm going to pull up Twitter for you at the same time here because I want to show you one of the, this is in reference to a boycott from MSNBC that was hashtag, it was trending on Twitter. So let's go over here and let's do, let's look up the same hashtag, boycott. Let's see if it's under boycott Andrew Yang, because I just saw something before I started making this video about Andrew Yang, where I saw a diagram that was up here. Let's do MSNBC. And MSNBC. And he was excluded again from, or not excluded, here it is. Hopefully you guys, my head's not in the way on this. Let me just check this. So we have this graph here. Apologize. We have this graph here, and we see that they put Biden, Pete, Harris, Amy, Bernie, Elizabeth, and then Tom and Yang. Cool. They included him finally. That's awesome. I don't know if this is just supposed to be representative of how they've qualified, the order with the qualified, the ranking of them. Or what? Oh, actually, no, wait. It says met one requirement, qualified for event. I thought, and you guys can correct me, I apologize, I did not even see that line, but I did see this trending when I was scrolling through Twitter. Met one requirement. What, I thought he had already gotten into the next debate, but then again, I don't really follow super close, so I don't know for sure. Then the next comment we have is from Sean Berry. What's good, Sean? Hope your week is going well. Sam, it is difficult for me to watch the mainstream media because of the bias. I use the internet to find alternative points of view. Your data shows that mainstream media is constantly reflecting its own bias. Yes, I agree. There's some biases that I've talked about where it's called the establishment bias. And I was thinking about an example that would help paint the picture of what the establishment bias it is without trying to use some arbitrary like literature to explain it. Now, think about somebody who gets a new job where they're working in an office and they just started. Everybody else, has been in the office for like, 10 years together or something like that. What happens to that new person? Well, eventually they just, become part of the team with everybody else. But at first, they're not part of the establishment, right? Everybody else has been together for 10 years. This guy's new. He's not part of the establishment. So he gets excluded from things and emails and phone calls and all this other stuff. The communication, they just don't include him. This new guy who got hired. So there's a clear tendency, and this is like documented in the research, that happens. Like, you could probably relate to that in some way. If it didn't happen to you, you might have heard of that happening before. And that's what happens. I'm also curious to know where Tulsi Gabbard is in this chart, or maybe she hasn't met any of the requirements. I'm not exactly sure, but I thought Yang had already met the requirement to qualify for the event, but I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. And yeah, I actually have the next video I'm going to be working on. This is why you should subscribe. The next video I'm going to be working on, it should be super fucking interesting. What we're going to do is take a look at Kamala Harris, and we're going to do the same thing with Kamala Harris because I've seen her headlines in the news about potentially running out of money and just chaos in their camp. Somebody quit or something, a headline said, and they didn't seem very happy about their quitting. But what we're going to cover next is we're going to put together some mainstream media YouTube channels, and we're going to take a look at those because I have this theory that's based on trust. If I can build trust and authenticity and be genuine in what I'm articulating, then that continues to build trust. When MSNBC leaves people out or is clearly not even taking into consideration on how to mitigate the clear establishment bias that has been shown many, many times in what's happening, because you know something has happened. You need to take steps to either mitigate it or do something, because when you don't do that, you lose trust. And what happens when you lose trust is, over time, in the macro, long term, these players tend to lose attention because people are not stupid. People are super intelligent, and our fucking bullshit meters are up here. So when you sense somebody's lying, it's pretty fucking evident. And I'm gonna put. I have a feeling. I watched something the other day on Fox News, and I was like, "Wow, that is not what I expected from a reporter," because they were actually pushing, right? And not just in a super one directional way. And I thought that was like, oh wow, that's kind of interesting. Wasn't expecting that. I don't watch news. I don't own a TV. I never watch the news. So I watched like a 3-minute video on Fox News. So it made me think. I wonder, because NBC and CNN have clearly shown this establishment bias when it comes to Yang, in terms of I made a video about CNN just excluding Andrew Yang and discriminating against him. They have like multiple videos on every other candidate and 0 on him, or like 2 on him and like 10 or 15 on every other candidate. This was 2 months ago when I did that video. And then MSNBC has been leaving him out of their polling data, even though he's polling higher than some of the people who they put into it. So I have a feeling that, based on that one data point, gave me that idea to go through and test this to see which one of these networks actually has the most trust of America to really like be objective in the way that they portray the data to the public. And so don't forget to subscribe for that as well. Jump over to TikTok. It is blowing up. Jump over to TikTok and say what's good.